Celebrations countrywide to acknowledge the clamor for independence more than 6 decades ago that saw thousands of men and women fight off brutality and oppression under the colonial rule of the British. But even as merrymaking takes center stage, freedom fighters who contributed to the liberation of the nation have faulted the government for neglecting them for years. Among them is Patrick Wangamati, now a nominated Member of Parliament, who in his youth joined the Kenya troops under Dini Msambwa.
The spirit that people fought and the restoration of our own culture and the land that the Europeans took from Africans and those who were the land confiscated from them, they never went back to the land. Government did very little about.
Dini Msambwa was among the troops that staged resistance against the colonial government along the popular Mau Mau movement. Wangamati laments the poor living conditions of surviving freedom fighters and families left behind by gallant soldiers who made great sacrifices for Kenya's independence. He sponsored a motion in the National Assembly for compensation of all freedom fighters that is yet to be implemented.
The Parliament passed a motion. As it was, it is only the implementation of that motion. And to implement that motion is to bring it to the structures and identify the victims. Members of Parliament are willing, they know their constituencies, there are people in their constituencies who are still alive, those who died, their children are there. So the question of identifying this is not a problem. But the word is that the British government has accepted to compensate these people.
In the motion, Wangamati argued that Mau Mau victims from both Kiambu and Nyeri counties were compensated from the UK government in 2014 after initiating a court process, while other victims of torture from Meru, Kirinyaga, Murang'a, Embu, Kajiado and other parts of the country were left out. In part, the motion reads, and I quote, "Aware that the British government has accepted to release further compensation money on condition that only the victims who are still alive can prove that they were tortured will be compensated from these monies. This House resolves that the government ensures that the compensation goes to all affected homes and families of victims who are still alive all over the country," proposes the nominated Member of Parliament. Mashujaa Day was set aside after the promulgation of the Constitution of Kenya in the year 2010 to celebrate national heroes and heroines, but ironically, a significant number of them feel left out. A case in point is 91-year-old senior councillor Philip Thumba, who served in both Jomo Kenyatta and Daniel Arap Moi's administration at different levels and played an important role in Kenya's history and politics.
During my young time, I was also during colonial regime, I served in the Second World War, 1943 on Thumba. Then after the Second World War, I served in various countries in peacekeeping missions.
Thumba celebrated Mashujaa Day quietly at his home in Kitui, having not received an official invitation to Grace County celebrations. Rose Gakwo for Channel 1 News Hour.